Why does a society that celebrates motherhood so often struggle to support mothers? That question is at the heart of a new book from Seattle lawyer and activist Carolyn McConnell. In Motherhood Discounted, she combines personal stories, history, and insight on reproductive rights to examine what caring for others remains some of the most essential yet least recognized work in America. Carolyn, welcome to New Day.
Thank you for having me.
So you write that becoming a mother changed how you saw American society. What did you begin to notice that you hadn't really seen before?
Well, when I became a mother, I found it to be as joyful as being a mother is. It was also a lot harder and more unfair than I expected and that I thought it had to be. And I think a lot of mothers experience that. The first chapter of my book is called Welcome to Motherhood, You're Fired. And that's what happened to me. And that's what happens to a lot of mothers when they find that the work world is really hostile.
Definitely, definitely. So you really were fired, let go.
I really was.
Wow, true story. Okay. One of the central ideas too in your book is that we celebrate motherhood culturally, but often fail to support mothers in practical ways. What are the biggest gaps in support, would you say?
Well, when I first became a mother, I happened to write an article about Washington State's efforts to create some of the early paid family leave programs, one of the few in the country. We still have no national paid leave. And when I wrote about this article, wrote about this subject, I looked at the comments after I'd published the article, and it was really striking how a majority of them said pretty much the same thing, which was, how dare you confiscate my tax dollars to support social parasites? And that really shocked me that that is how a lot of people view motherhood. They may celebrate it at Mother's Day. They may talk about mom and apple pie as everything we love and cherish. But when the chips are down, we don't support motherhood.
Definitely. And why should people who aren't parents care about those gaps in support?
Well, each of us had a mother. And probably lots of other people who took care of us, changed probably 7,000 diapers. So you're pretty ungrateful if you don't value the caregiving that got you to where you are today.
Definitely.
And we also, most of us will probably, even if we don't become parents, will end up needing care at later stages of our lives, as elders say, or if we end up disabled for long or short periods of time.
Mm-hmm. And how has the Dobbs decision, which overturned Roe versus Wade, affected the conversation around care work in America today?
Well, I think one of the things that people have realized in the wake of this is how interconnected the abortion right is to other rights to women's health care. After states that abolished abortion did so, the maternal mortality rates in those states skyrocketed. Caregivers, doctors who, OBGYNs, moved out of states where abortion was abolished because they found that they couldn't give the kind of care they needed to do.
Mm-hmm. And what changes would you say would make the biggest difference for families?
Well, I already mentioned paid family leave. That would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't have it nationwide. We also need child care. During the pandemic, suddenly everybody took notice of the fact that schools are child care and how difficult it is to find child care and how expensive and how important that care is. When women were trying to do that care at the same time as working at home, it was just impossible.
Definitely, so important. And what conversations are you hoping that this book, Motherhood Discounted, brings up for people when they pick this up?
Well, I really hope that those of us who are caregivers of whatever sort, mothers, begin to value ourselves more and therefore to demand what we're worth and what we need.
How do you think people can support mothers better as well, too, if they're sitting watching at home and thinking, okay, I want to support my mom?
Right. Well, we often find ourselves doing caregiving at both ends of life. If we have moms who then need care, right, we all realize that it's a debt that we are repaying and that we got to the place we are because of the care work we had. So I think, again, valuing it properly, realizing that We often talk about working mothers, but that's an oxymoron because all mothers are working. It's just the question is, are we getting paid for it or not? And so to start recognizing that we should be paying properly for this really valuable work.
Amen. How long did this take you to write this book?
Well, because I was both a mother and for a while a law student and then working for pay full time, it took me a long time. I would say it took me over a decade because I was writing it in 15-minute increments, which I think a lot of mothers find they worry about whether you can do some art or something that is work they really love when in the midst of all the other things. And I'm here to say, yes, you can do it in 15-minute increments.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your first book, and congratulations.
Thank you.